Gentlemen, we live in interesting times. So this whole COVID-19 thing, I've been watching since January. I take it very seriously. Yes, I'm a bit of a prepper. Don't talk about it much on my channel, but maybe my time in the Marine Corps dealing with emergency response, I've studied biology, history. To me, watching this stuff unfold has been surreal. But the big thing that I'm taking from all this is the shift that's happening right now in mindset. What am I talking about? So to me, there are many events that happen throughout history, throughout our lives that shape us. And this is going to be one of the events that for most people is going to define a period, is going to, in a sense, scar them. Because that's what chaotic events, that's what traumatic events, that's what they do to us. So you go back, you look at 9/11, or you go farther back, you look at World War II, the Great Depression. My grandfather survived the Great Depression, and for him, he was always saving things. A lot of people would call him a hoarder, but for him, it was simply, hey, he never threw anything out. And I know many of you guys probably have people in your family that they behave certain ways, and a lot of it's because of what happens to us in our lives. So I'm looking at all this, and I'm seeing the way that this is very interesting, how it's going to play out in the future. I want to talk a little bit about some of the negative. I want to talk about some of the positive, especially the positive, talking about the opportunity that's out there for you. So one of the interesting things about traumatic events is they oftentimes constrict the mind. Example, 9/11. What happened to Americans after 9/11? All of a sudden we started looking at outsiders, people coming into our country, people from certain nationalities as a threat. On the other hand, let's look at disruptive events. Oftentimes these are positive. Things like television, air travel, space exploration, the internet. All of this actually in many ways expands the mind. So my question to you is, how are you going to deal with the current events? Is this going to be something that you're going to view as a traumatic, negative experience, something that's going to constrict your mind, or are you going to view this as a disruption? Something that, yeah, is a little bit unfamiliar, uncomfortable, but something that actually is going to expand your mind to future possibilities. Now, obviously, this is my personal opinion, but I think this COVID-19 thing is not going to go away anytime soon. In fact, I think this is going to be the new norm. Until we develop a vaccine, people are just going to continue to keep things locked down. We're going to change our behavior. Our behavior change, especially over time, is going to change our mindset. And this is going to be really interesting. Again, it's one of those things that happens in your life and changes the way you view the world. So right now, there's a lot of negative energy out there, and I'm going to break this into chaos, fear, and loss. So right now with chaos, we've got tons of misinformation, and everybody, including me, we're scouring the web trying to get as much information as we can to protect ourselves, protect our families, protect the ones we love, and really just shore up our defenses because we don't know what's going on. We're looking for good leaders, and I can tell you there are few and far between good leaders out there. And so we're out there just trying to make sense of all this information. Now, emerging from this chaos is a lot of fear. And what's interesting about this fear is most of it is unfounded, but it's being stroked by the news and by the media. Because guess what? At any point you can get sick and die. But everything right now is being put in your face. Even though you have a much better chance of getting sick and surviving, it is something that so many of us are getting stoked up about. And yeah, we're fearful of losing our job. We're fearful of somebody getting sick and losing someone that's close to us. And on top of the chaos, on top of the fear, you actually start to experience real loss. Initially, loss of sleep. I know I've been staying up trying to think, how am I going to repivot my company? How are we going to make sure that I'm taking care of my family? I'm taking care of my employees. All of a sudden, you're going to start losing your health because you're isolated. You're not around other people. You're not going to the gym. You're not eating as healthy. You're just up worried. All of a sudden, you lose your job. You lose someone that's dear to you. Guys, loss is real. And yeah, this stuff is going to hit us, and it's going to hit us soon. Now let's talk about courage, the flip side of fear. Yes, because most people are going to be fearful. Most people are going to clam up. Their minds are going to shrink. But are you going to have the courage to step up? Are you going to have the courage to do what's right, to do what's needed, especially when nobody is looking? It's nice, and we've all got this idea of being this courageous hero of, your troops are falling down and you pick up the flag and you lead them. Yeah, that's nice in the storybooks, but I think real courage, that is when nobody's looking and you know what needs to be done. In fact, when it's unpopular, when you realize that, hey, this needs to happen. I've got to continue to run my business. I've got to lead. I've got to figure out a way. I've got to be able to stand up when other people are, putting their heads down in the sand. I'm going to have the courage to speak up. I'm going to have the courage to say what needs to be said, even if it's unpopular. And now let's talk about opportunity, the opposite of loss. So I know a lot of you guys are going to experience loss over the next year. If you work in the airline industry, if you work at a restaurant, you work at a hotel, things are tough and they're probably not going to get better. It's going to get darker before it gets light. But here's the thing is this the opportunity that you've been waiting for? The excuse to go off and finally start your own business, to finally go pursue your dream, go do what you want to do. And here's the thing is that there is tons of opportunity out there. You've just got to look for it. There are now millions of children at home that are trying to figure out this online schooling thing. We homeschool our kids, and I can tell you that it is difficult, and there is such a need for so many support services. And maybe you're not going to be able to make a whole lot of money, but it may be something that you find a calling and you find that you can actually solve a problem and you'll be able to, I think that there is tons of ways to build a business there. I was just talking with my son. We're actually, he's going to miss his track season. How are all these athletes going to stay active? How are all these people that are confined to their homes? How are they staying active? Maybe you understand the body. You understand how to develop a workout routine that can be done in the comfort of a home. Yes, there's tons of things out there, but is there something that solves this problem as it is right now? Guys, I've actually got a list here of all, consulting for, businesses, remote working. I'm going to be putting out a number of videos here at Real Men Real Style over the next year, dealing specifically with all the issues I see. In fact, what to expect from Real Men Real Style going forward. Well, first up, I'm taking the approach, I want to be a leader. I want to have courage and I want to pounce on the opportunities that are going to be out there. And just like you guys, I'm overwhelmed by some of the chaos. I have a lot of fear and I definitely, I know that we're going to experience some loss. But this is something, fortune favors the bold. And I'm going to go out there. I am going to go out there and do some great things for my company. We're going to pivot a bit because I really want to be useful. We're going to get back into, I think, a lot of the helpful videos, but we're going to give them with a twist. And that's where I see the opportunity for me. But where is your opportunity, gentlemen? Now is the moment to jump on it, to find it. Go out there, see a need, fill that need. Be the change you want to see in the world, gentlemen. I love you. You guys are awesome. Stay strong. I know a lot of you guys are my friends over in Italy, over in China, over in South Korea, throughout the world. I know my friends over in Australia, the UK. In fact, I want to hear from you down in the comments. If you made it this far into the video, where you're from, how things are going. Stay strong. And I can promise you guys, I'm going to continue to put out content for as long as I can. In fact, I want to put out more because I realize that we're all going to be lonely. We're all going to be, stuck in our homes. We're going to, I have to admit, I've got an office 800 meters away. I live in a town of 1,000 people. I see nobody. So I've got it going good for me. But I know a lot of you guys, you're going to be confined. And so I want to create content that can help you. So if you've got ideas for videos, definitely let me know down in the comments. That's it, guys. Again, I love you. I appreciate you. Stay strong.